What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you how to create a bot for the synthetical index. I don't know how they are called in English, but something like that. A lot of people is asking me sometimes and they are telling me that the code that I'm giving you in the videos doesn't work for them, and the reason sometimes is because the code that I'm giving you is sometimes, well, it's always meant to work with, for example, the Euro USD, USD Yen, or whatever, like with Forex. And with the index, there are some differences, such as, for example, that here you can see that this big movement is just 300 points. But here, this small movement is 30,000 points. So that's the big thing of why the bot isn't working for you with the synthetical indexes. So I'm going to teach you how to do this, and you're going to see that we are going to create a very cool bot, and also stay until the end, because you may be confused with the result, because the result of this bot is going to be like really okay. Like, you are going to see this and you are going to say, hey, am I going to be rich or something? And no, I have to tell you something else. So first thing first, how do we do this? First of all, we need to go to the IDE. We click here. Let me open this window here. We click here, and now we are going to create a new expert advisor. How? We click on new expert advisor. We give it a name. Let's call it index bot. And here we don't click any of this. We take this. We are going to make this bigger. We are going to delete all this, and we are ready to go. So first of all, we need to store the candles, because I didn't explain you. The thing that we are going to do is the following. We are going to take all these movements, like, let me put this, the movements where we go down, we are going to take all these movements, and when in this case a boom happens, the position is going to be closed. So for example, we are going to take this one, we are going to try to close it as soon as possible so we don't lose money. And for example, we take it from here, we stop here, we take it from here, stop here, here. That's the idea. So we are going to only open sell operations. So for this, we need to store the candles, because we need to know when a boom happens. So first of all, let's declare a variable called, MQL rates variable called candles. So this is going to be an array in which we are going to store the candles. The next thing that we have to do is to initialize this variable. How? With the function on init. So this function is called when the bot is opened for the first, not opened for the first time, like whenever you put the bot to run, this function is going to be called, but just once at the beginning. So we are going to initialize this array here by calling the function array set as series. So we are going to put here the candles array, and we are going to set this to true. So now that we have initialized the array with the candles, what we need to do now is to store the information of the candles. So for that, we are going to call the function onTick, which is going to be executed on every tick. And what we are going to do in this, in each tick, is to store the information of the candles. How? By calling the function copyBuffer, and here we have, no, not copyBuffer, sorry, you have to call the function copyRates. Yeah, I was wrong there. So you call copyRates. We are going to say that, hey, use the current symbol. This is what this means, like the current symbol. So for example, if we are here in this chart, the current symbol of the chart is boom 300 index, but here the current symbol is Euro USD. So that's what this variable is. So the next thing that this is asking, if I'm not wrong, is the period. So it is asking the period. We could use period current, or we could use this, which is the same. The next thing is that from which candle do you want to take information, and we are going to say that we want to take the information from the very last candle. How do we say this? Putting here a 0. So if we put here a 0, we are going to say that, hey, I want the information from the last candle. So this actually means that, for example, if we come here and we go to the last candle, we can see that this is the candle 0, this is the candle 1, the candle 2, the candle 3, the candle, and so on. So we are going to take it from the candle 0 and we are going to take just 3 candles. And now we have to say where do we want to store it, and it's in the candles array. So, okay, now we have this, we have the candles. What do we have to do now? As we said before, whenever we have a bullish candle, we want to here at the end open a position. So we have to check if the previous candle is a bullish one. How? We are going to say if bullish one, which we are referring, with this one we are referring to the previous one, and wait, this function isn't in MQL5. We are going to create this later, but let's not go too fast. So now here we are checking if the previous candle is a bullish candle, and we also have to check that the current one is not bullish. So what we are going to put here as is that and the current one, and for that we are going to say bullish 0, which refers to the current candle, is not bullish. With this symbol, the negation symbol, the exclamation symbol, we are saying that, hey, we don't want this to be bullish. So now that we have these two conditions, we need to also put something else, but wait for that. And here, in this case, what we would have to do is to open the trade. But how do we do trades in MQL5? It is as simple as including the library. We have to include the library called trade MQH, which is in the trade folder. So we put here MQH, and that's it. So now we have to do several things. The first one is creating a seed trade object, which is an object defined here, like a class defined here, that is going to help us doing operations. So for that, we are going to put here seed trade, and we are going to call the object trade. And now we need a variable ulong, which is going to store the trade ticket. So we are going to call this trade ticket, and it's going to be equal to 0. So for now we are okay. And now the thing that we have to put here is that, hey, if there's a position opened, we don't want to have a second one. We only want to have one position open at a time. So for that, we are going to put here that the trade ticket must be 0. Well, or less than 0 in case that there's an error and an operation was not opened. So with this, we are saying that, hey, I just need one operation opened. So the next thing that we are going to do here is to basically open the trade, but, well, the sell operation. But how do we do this? First of all, we have to use the trade object, and we just have to call the method, well, yeah, the method sell. So here we need to put the volume, and for this we are going to use dynamic volume. And in a previous video, I taught you how to do this, which is just basically using this function. And let me put this function here, and that's it. So since we just want the lotage, this function is giving us the dynamic lotage. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So yeah, now the only thing that I have to to put here is to put get lotage. And the value returned by this function is going to be the lotage. Then the next thing that we have to do is to say the symbol in which we want to open the operation. And this is the same as this one. So here we are going to put symbol, and now we have to say the current price, which is the bid, and now we will get the bid. I will show you how. Then the stop loss, we don't want it. The take profit, we don't want it, and we don't want also a comment. So for that, we can leave this like this. And now we need to store the trade ticket. How? We are going to say that the trade ticket is going to be equal to trade, and we need to call another method called result order. Yeah. So now we are not going to open a lot of operations. We are just going to open one operation at a time. And once this one is closed, we are going to open another one. But when do we close the operation? For that, we are going to say here an else if the trade ticket is different than 0, it means that the operation is open, well, not different, bigger than 0. What we are going to do now is to check also if the current operation, well, the current candle is bullish. Because as I told you, whenever we have a bullish candle like here, what we are going to do is to try to close the operation as soon as possible. So for that, we are going to say if the current candle is bullish, and here we are going to put an optional argument. I will explain you later what is an optional argument. We are going to say that if we are 15 points, like if the bullish candle has more than 500 points, we are going to consider this candle, and well, we are going to consider this candle big enough to close the operation. So here we have this, and now the next thing that we have to do is to just simply close the operation. And for that, we are going to put here trade position close, and we just have to send the trade ticket. For that, we put here trade ticket, and that's it. So I think everything is okay, but now we have to define this bullish function. So how do we do this? First of all, this bullish function is going to return a boolean. So we are going to say here that bool, and we are going to put the name of the function, bullish, and we are going to say that we receive the candle position, so the position of the candle, if it's 0 is the last one, if it's 1 is the previous of the last one, etc. And then we have to put here an optional argument, which is, for example, well, it's a double and is the candle length, for example. And remember, this is a double because we are putting here 500 points, and we are multiplying this by the value of the current point in the chart. So now what we have to return is the result of a logical operation. So here what we are going to compare is that if the difference between the candles, in this case candle pos close, if the difference of the close minus the candle position, the one that we want to check, the open, if this difference is bigger than the candle length that we want, then we are going to consider this function bullish. And as I said before, this has an optional argument, which is this second one. And if we leave this like here, it's not going to work because here we are not sending that second argument. What we have to do is that we need to give this a default value. For that, we are going to put this 0. So for that, if we don't send anything, if there's a small difference, we are going to consider that candle bullish, and that's what we need here in these two calls. But here in this call, in order to check if it is bullish, we need to check that a certain amount of points has gone up. So yeah, that's it. So now that we have this, I think everything is okay. And let me check the value. Yeah, I have to define the bit here that I forgot. So for that, what I'm going to do is that I will simply call double bit, and here I have to call the function symbol info double. I have to put here the symbol, which is the current symbol, and here I have to say that I want the bit. And since this is going to return a lot of decimals, I have to also call the function normalize double, and we have here the value, and now we have to say the amount of digits, and we have also here the amount of digits. So with this, I think everything is okay, and we are going to do something else, which is that whenever an operation is closed, don't open a new one until a new candle arrives. So since we are going to do this in the 1 minute chart, what we are going to do is that we are going to create a time flag. Let's call this bool time flag that initially is going to be true time flag, and let's say that we are going to open positions when the time flag is true, and here whenever we open a position the time flag is going to be set to false. Also we are going to call a timer, putting here 60 seconds, and here the next thing that we are going to do is to call the method, well, the function on timer, which is going to be activated whenever this timer ends. So here the only thing that we are going to do is to say that the time flag is going to be true. And now I truly think that we are ready to go. So we have one last thing, which is that here I forgot to put candle len. So now that we have here, we compile, we come back here, and let's see. So we are going to open the tester strategy, the strategy tester, and here we are going to choose the bot that we created, the index bot. We are going to put it in the boom index 1 minute since October of 2021. And now we are going to click start. So you are going to see, well, I forgot one thing, which is the visual mode, so we can see how this works and how this goes. So for example, this was okay because in this candle before, well, after a bullish candle, we opened a position. And you can see that here there was a candle that was something like a bullish but ended not being bullish, and yeah, that that wasn't good. But then here it should open another one, but I think I forgot to put here that we need to also set this again to true. So we have to say that, well, this is wrong, this shouldn't be here. The timer should be here. Whenever we close the operation, we have to set the timer. And we also have to say here that the trade ticket must be 0, so we can also open new operations. And since this, what we are going to do now is check again if everything is okay after compiling. So now, okay, that operation was open. Okay, a new operation here after a bullish candle was open, and here there should be another one. Okay, and okay, this one was very good. This one was also very good, very good, very good, very good. And yeah, you may be wondering, hey, this is truly crazy. How are you doing this? Like, this is perfect. Are you going to get rich? No, because look, if we go faster and we check on time, like how fast does the money grow, it's kind of crazy. So let's remove the visual mode and let's start and let's just check this graphic and look how fast it's going. Like, it's going too fast. And here we have an error because I forgot to do this. We are, let's call this double lotage. And here we are going to return the lotage or 50, because the maximum lotage that you can set is 50. And here we have to say that if the lotage is less or equal than 50, we are going to send the lotage. Otherwise, if it is bigger, okay, send 50. No, don't send more than that. So let's compile again. Let's come here. And you're going to see that this is like super crazy. Like, the amount of money is going up too fast. But this isn't okay. Why? I truly thought at once that I was going to get rich. But look, you have to set here not every tick. You have to say real ticks. You have to use real ticks. I thought that all ticks meant like all ticks that happen, like that you receive, but no. This, when you say here all ticks, is that MetaTrader will automatically generate for you some ticks. So here you have to say real ticks. Because, for example, here in these things, whenever a boom happens, there are not ticks between this point. Like, when the boom happens, usually it goes from here and then the next tick is here. And that's why this is so dangerous. Because even though you have a stop loss, let's say here, if the tick is here, the operation is going to be closed up here. And if your stop loss was set to lose just €1, you are going to maybe lose €10 because the tick didn't go to the stop loss. No, like, it just went upper, like to another level. So you have to be really careful with this, because this can really kill you. Like, this is very dangerous. So if we check now on real ticks, you are going to see the big difference. So for example, let's see the visual mode, so you see how the operations are done. And let's see. Okay, here that one was okay, but as I'm telling you here, this one was open here, but it was closed here, not more or less here. No. Here it was closed here. So that's why you should be very careful with that. Look, for example, here we detected the boom, not here, but we detected here. Why? Because the last tick here was somewhere here, and then the next tick was here, up here. So there wasn't ticks between these. No. There was one here. So that's why this is so dangerous and so well, not difficult, but yeah, really dangerous. Like, I wouldn't trade on this or whatever. Like, this is, for me, truly dangerous. And you can see that, look at the money now. Like, it's decreasing faster. So if we check now the graphic, you can see that things changed very fast. So let me put this, remove this, and let's only check the graphic. And look at the big difference. Like, this is truly very dangerous. So I truly don't recommend you using this. And if you want to use this, like, be very careful. But I don't think that synthetic indexes are something very good. Like, I truly think that this is betting, because when trading the USD, if you are aware of the news and things, it's like crypto. If you are aware of the news and things, like, there's a psychological pattern in the market or things like that, well, whatever. But yeah, to sum up, be careful with this. I don't recommend it. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video and you understood how to create an index bot in MQL5, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.